Chapter 24, Vera's Shot. Soulgate 3 wasn't pretty. It had been built fast, under panic, under the shadow of someone else's death. Half of its outer plating still bore the old station's registry. Half was human patchwork, reinforced in ugly, overbuilt layers. Inside it lived the survivors of Vera, people who had watched from a safe distance as the purge ate their star. People who had stepped through evacuation corridors and never again felt the gravity they were born under. They crowded every viewing deck that pointed vaguely in the direction of the Great Gate node. The node was no modest ring. It dominated the central spine, multiple interlocking hoops, a lattice of emitters and field couplers and resonance cages, wrapped around by hundreds of smaller personal nodes, salvaged, built, gifted, all welded into the structure like barnacles on a war god. A woman with dust-colored skin and a faded Varan's sun tattoo on her wrist put her palm on the housing. "He said, 'Play our hearts out,'" she murmured. "We don't have much left to play with." Her daughter, spindly, station-born, eyes too old for her years, slid a small hand beside hers. "We have enough," the girl said. Around them, refugees pressed closer. Farmers who now managed hydroponic racks, engineers who kept air scrubbers alive, merchants who ran improvised markets in repurposed corridors. Children who had never stood under an open sky and yet carried the memory of one in the stories their parents told. They prayed if they had prayers. They cursed if they didn't. They remembered sunlight and rivers and heavy gravity and the exact color of Vera's dawn. And together, deliberately, almost angrily, they pushed. Every memory, every love, every grief they hadn't had time to process when the evacuation shuttles yanked them away. Every time they'd woken up thinking they still had a son. The future they couldn't build in their home system, into the node. Soulgate 3's readings didn't spike. They vanished off the top of every scale. In the command center, alarms associated with that station screamed. "Soulgate 3's node is off chart," a tech yelped. "That can't be right. They were already at max." "They're not overloading," the scientist breathed, hands flying over controls. "They're focusing. They're pushing everything they are down one path." Outside the hull, something answered. Where other beams rose like lances, Soulgate 3's erupted like a pillar, thicker than the station itself, so bright that external cameras dropped to single-digit percentages and still barely captured its edges. Soulgate 3, resident. "Did you see that holy refugee kid? Mom, it's brighter than our old sun." Outer Ring Observer, is that Soulgate 3? Is that the Vera Gate? Union Hall went incandescent. Union Hall Main, that's them. Rim Minor 11, let's go! Iran Nomad, that's Vera. That's the people the purge hit first. Station Cook Argus, give it to them. Gate 3. Core Student 12, Vera just put their whole foot in that beam. From the node's housing, Vera's energy shot into the field, racing along invisible pathways, a supercharged torrent joining the other streams heading for the convergence point. In the hollow, Hawthorne watched its telemetry thread through the model, a spear of overbright contribution stitching itself into the already roaring nexus at the galaxy's heart. "Track that," he said, voice rough. "I want to see it hit." The simulation obliged, exaggerating scale so no one could miss it. Soulgate 3's contribution, a disproportionate surge, dove into the knot where every other voice was already singing. When it hit, the firing beam didn't just brighten, it transformed. The column already lancing toward the purge thickened like a muscle flexing, its core hurtling past white into something no human eye could name, edges sharpening until the visual filters had to clamp hard just to render it. Pilots whose ships floated near the main path felt their hulls hum with a new, deeper note, like the bass line of a universe-sized chord dropping into place. On planets, people felt pressure behind their eyes, an ache in their chest, a sensation like the instant before tears, then the release of having already cried. At the edge of everything, the purge buckled. Up until that moment, it had adapted, warped, twisted its geometry to keep erasing, even as reality refused to stay erased. Vera's shove broke its rhythm. The erasure field convulsed, like a muscle finally pushed past its limit. In the command center, metrics went insane. Values exceeded range. Curvature climbed so high, the math spit out errors. Forcing a phase shift, the scientist whispered, this is... Then the purge, inverted. All that hunger, all that structured nothingness, all that patient, erase this, erase that, folded inward. The Union field did not let up. The beam kept pouring in. The galaxy did not stop playing. Guitars shredded in tiny bars. Drums pounded on lonely platforms. Kids shrieked in victorious tag games. Refugees gripped cold metal and remembered warm ground. The purge collapsed, and where absence had lived, something else kindled.